Beyond the everyday powers, the governor holds two sets of authority that become especially visible in a crisis. First, the governor is commander in chief of the California National Guard, one of the largest in the nation with around 23,000 members. The governor can call the guard to state duty for civil unrest, natural disasters, or border operations. But there's a built in tension. The federal government can federalize the guard, which removes it from the governor's control, a recurring flashpoint when Sacramento and Washington disagree. Second, and even more sweeping, are emergency powers. Under the California Emergency Services Act, a gubernatorial emergency proclamation unlocks dramatic authority to commandeer resources, suspend conflicting statutes, issue executive orders with the force of law, and spend outside the normal appropriations process. The COVID-19 pandemic was the great modern test. Governor Newsom issued sweeping orders closing businesses and reorganizing agencies, sparking real constitutional debate about the limits of emergency power and the legislature's role. Afterward, the legislature passed reforms clarifying when emergency orders require legislative ratification, a deliberate rebalancing of power. Now we come to one of the most analytically important features of California government, the plural executive. Unlike the federal system where the president appoints the entire executive team, California elects 8 constitutional officers independently. The governor must share power with officials who may belong to a different party, answer to a different electoral base, and pursue different priorities. This was a deliberate 19th century progressive choice born of distrust of concentrated executive power, and California is the textbook example of executive fragmentation. The consequences are real, not theoretical. The Attorney General, independently elected, can build a political identity in opposition to the governor. The Comptroller independently audits the executive's own finances. The Secretary of State runs elections free of gubernatorial control, a safeguard against partisan manipulation of the electoral machinery. The strangest office in this arrangement is the Lieutenant Governor, elected on a separate ballot from the governor. Voters can, and sometimes do, pick a governor of one party and a lieutenant governor of another. The office's formal powers are thin. It succeeds the governor, presides over the Senate with a tie-breaking vote, and sits on a few boards. But when the governor leaves the state, the lieutenant governor becomes acting governor, which has occasionally produced pointed political theater between rivals of opposite parties.